Oil will save the climate, says this country. The plan? Get rich off of that before the pollution becomes overwhelming. But should this country slow down its development to prevent climate change? Azerbaijan has two faces: rags and riches. Located on the western side of the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan is wedged between Russia, Iran and Turkey. But the international spotlight shines on this oil and gas giant because right now, COP29 is happening. The biggest worldwide conference on climate change. So in the next few days, I'll show you the good, the bad, the ugly. Well, here's the metro. So, see you in a second. Not allowed to bring you in. I'll pop up in some different part of the city. Well, a few days ago, I was in the countryside of Azerbaijan, quite far away, even flying, and it was nothing like this. The amount of money compared to the outskirts is really stark. You can basically see that all the money and all the power is really centralized in this system. Here, I would like to welcome you again to Azerbaijan, the land of fire, and Baku, the city where the winds always blow, as you might have heard. To my left there is SOCAR, the state oil company of Azerbaijan. Now, if I would also mention that the water here in the Caspian Sea is far below the normal sea level, and additionally that the land might be shaky from time to time, you could say that in 1848 everything changed when oil was discovered over here. Let me change the angle for a second. Now this company, SOCAR, basically runs this country. 50% of the entire GDP is just created by this company, while 90% of its exports are. The oil and gas sector is very capital intensive and doesn't require a lot of labor, only highly specialized labor. What that means is a lot of money go to the big guys in those big towers, while not a lot is shared with the smaller apartments on this side. Okay, little side quest. I've never seen, or it must be one of the biggest apartment blocks that I've seen in my life. I have the feeling it's constructed during the times of Brezhnev or Khrushchev, and I will try to get closer and see what the people say, how old this is and how many people live there. Salam. Русский? Русский чуть-чуть?
А, ты русский?
Я не русский, но у меня есть вопрос. Знаете, сколько людей тут живут?
Так, людей здесь много.
Да, есть много.
20-этажное здание большое.
Да?
Очень много людей, я не знаю.
А вы отсюда?
Нет, вот я здесь живу.
Вот этот?
Да.
А сколько лет? Это было временно Khrushchev?
50 лет.
50 лет.
Ну, скоро его будет.
Построен снова.
Да,
хорошо.
пока карабахский вопрос не решен, там
да.
деньги туда все.
Угу. Но сейчас получше. Нет? Окей. А, это ваш или нет? Салам? Говорите по-английски? Да, по-английски, русский?
Нет, по-русски могу говорить.
Знаете, сколько людей живут вот там?
Живут люди
Но сколько?
приблизительно,
Приблизительно.
ну, человек где-то 3000.
3000. И знаете, в каком году они вот это строили?
Ну, где-то около 14 лет.
Около 4. И жизнь тут хорошо? Квартиры вон там?
Комфортно.
Комфортно. А.
Ну, есть разница между новостройками, есть разница.
Ага.
Кто по
Спасибо.
национальности?
Я Степан из Голландии. Голландец.
А, голландец.
Да.
Ну, малой еще.
Еще молодой.
Да,
А вы?
53.
53. Вы еще были в Красной армии?
Да, был.
Да.
89-91 год.
The two gentlemen said it's fine at night. It's a workers' class neighborhood, so no problem whatsoever. It's Baku. But early night, I'm gonna go out to, let's say, the outskirts of the city, or even this entire peninsula, which is called the Absheron Peninsula. And I hope I don't have an encounter with police as I did in the last video, but see you there. Good morning, everybody. I just got off the metro station here at Kuruglu, eastern part of Baku. And while everybody here is debating, speeching, or decreeing in stadium like this one or the one in the far distance, we are going to go to the countryside. And it's going to be a drive of about an hour until we reach really the outskirts of the city. When I left the metro as well, it's an interesting fact to mention. Each city during the times of the Soviet Union, when they reached 1 million in population, they would receive a metro system as a sort of congratulations for reaching that milestone. And Baku is the biggest city over here, so they received it already, I think it was in the 60s. Now, the Azerbaijani government is also not stupid. With COP happening, even though I went an hour out to the countryside, they blocked the pollution lake that they had with change the future for the green future. Green is not just a color, it's a way of life. So sadly I cannot enter, and there's also security around here, so I need to get a move on. Nicknamed by the locals of Pirallahi Island as the Caspian radioactive lake, this site was once an enormous hill of pollution. However, it was recently excavated. But Azerbaijan, and in particular this island, was the place for oil extraction in the 1940s, as it accounted for 85% of all Soviet production. But by the 70s, 80s, it ran out. And now this island is for the most parts on the outskirts completely forgotten. But on the parts in the center, where there is a heli platform towards the sea, there is still a big extraction going on. It's one of the biggest oil platforms in the world, not just a single location. It's Niftiyev. Bridges from one platform to another platform, to spanning over 100 kilometers in distance between various platforms of extraction. It's still operational, but it's outdated and has gone into disrepair. It would be somewhere over there in the distance. Now there's a reason why I don't dare to go too close to Neftashlari. If you look on the map, on Google Maps, just the name shows up. If you look at the satellite view, you can't even find it underwater. You have to specifically go in terrain alterations, as in height, above the water, to find it. So there's some sort of secrecy around it. I would also like to say sorry for all the wind. It's basically part of being in this part of Azerbaijan. It's always windy, especially these islands such as Artyom or Pirallahi. I cannot pronounce that one. Sorry for all the Azerbaijanis out there. So we were just at Artyom, at Pirallahi Island, where basically I showed you the remnants of oil extraction. And now I'm on my way to show you literally where it comes straight out of the ground. A ty платил один раз штраф для скорости или нет?
Да, конечно. Без этого не может быть.
Не можешь быть таксист в Азербайджане. As you can see, oil and gas has become straight out of the ground here for centuries already, even before it was useful for extraction. Too much wind over there, so I had to go up. Quite funny, there's a no smoking sign right there, even though I think there's a lot of smoke coming out of there. So let's bring it all together. We have SOCAR, the state oil company of Azerbaijan. We have COP29, the climate conference happening here. And we have a nice little controversy. Elnur Sultanov is the deputy minister of energy in Azerbaijan. And he's also the chief executive leading the Azerbaijani team at COP29. BBC posed as potential investors. He was open to discuss new investment opportunities for oil and gas extraction in Azerbaijan. Now, it's completely up to Azerbaijan to do this, but to do it during a climate conference, it's a bit of a hypocrisy.
Это все санатории, около моря, да, поэтому.
А тут море близко?
Да, близко. Вот там, где все море.
Okay.
На Каспийское море, все.
Okay. I will also go to a sanatorium soon, so I'll show you that. My taxi driver dropped me off, but didn't want to be the center of attention, so I didn't put in too much on video. There's quite a few cars here. Let me find a better spot. Now, as we've seen, the production side of things, this wealth doesn't get spread equally. Our taxi driver that I just had makes, let's say, $500 a month. That's definitely not enough to pay for rent in one of these apartments. Now, then the question becomes, where does the wealth go? Where does all this money go? It's not only these apartments. It's not even only the presidential family and his near circle. It's also not only war, but that's certainly a part of it. So in 1993, Azerbaijan fought a war against the Armenians and lost. In 2020, they did again. And in 2023, they did again. And in the last two, they actually won. Now, this is because of a growing disparity between the two countries. Whereas Armenia has 3 million people and Azerbaijan has 10 million. Also triple the size. But especially the economy. 24 billion versus 72 billion. And for the Azeris, a defense budget to match. But I would argue that that is not the biggest problem that the Azeris face in the near future. It's not even an external enemy. It's an internal enemy. And I will tell you about it in Naftalan. So now it's getting late, so we'll see you tomorrow. Time to leave Baku. So, are the two countries done fighting? I would argue they are not. A big piece is missing in the eyes of the Azeris, and that's the connection to Nakhchivan. That's that area over here on the map, on the far left. It's the world's biggest landlocked exclave, completely separated by just one country. And you already know which one it is. In the war of 2020, Azerbaijan won a concession to build a corridor here, but still being on the territory of its enemy. But now basically they're coming back from it because they're fearing their sovereignty. There to there today.
The next station is UZEYIR.
I'm at the doctor now, and you'll be surprised what happens here.
Раньше территория Нафталана была пустынной зоной, тут ничего не было. И вот с помощью верблюдов вывозили отсюда какие-то грузы по всему миру. Да. Это был путь просто, пустынный путь. И вот 2 верблюда, у них какие-то болезни, кожная какая-то болезнь была. И вот главарь вот этого вот каравана, он решил оставить их тут, что они зря едят еду, пьют воду, в общем, они не нужны ему. Их оставили тут, а сами дальше уже переехали. Когда они возвращались, они думали, наверное, найдут этих верблюдов уже мертвыми. Они пришли, у верблюдов все хорошо, и кожа чистая, все хорошо, все нормально. Они сами удивились, почему так, из-за чего. Вот вроде бы они должны были уже умереть, а они, кожа чистая, все нормально, все хорошо. И они увидели, что они все в грязи, какая-то грязь на них. Ну, удачи вам, Стефан. Пока одну ванную. Всего одна ванная. Хорошо. Примите, посмотрим, какие у вас ощущения. Я надеюсь, будет хорошо.
Я думаю, что да.
Удачи вам. Какие-то вопросы обязательно сюда. Если что-то вспомните, пожалуйста, Стефан.
I'm in a bath filled with oil, and I'm going to be here for the next 10 minutes. It's really sticky and really warm.
Все?
Да, вот там. Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
So I'm sitting in bath here for the Dutch disease, also called the resource curse. Because would you think that finding a lot of oil in your country is a good thing? No, it might also be a very bad thing. Let me tell you why. The resource curse is basically when one physical product is very much extracted in one country and sold abroad, which means that a lot of euros, dollars, renminbi, yen flow into the country for the local currency, which is the manat. What happens then is that Azeris can buy a lot more products
with their same value of manet because the currency is so much appreciated. While the reverse is also true. Foreign companies only want to buy with their dollars, with their euros, local products, their local products, and no longer Azeri products. That basically means that the whole economy becomes less productive. Only the extraction, the oil, becomes a productive good. The big problem here is then, with improductivity, is that the general Azeri, most of the Azeri, will not feel the benefits of oil. Because oil is a very capital intensive good, which means very few labor is used for it. Now, how can you offset this? You either invest in infrastructure, invest in education, or you bring the money slowly back into the economy. What you need to watch out for, though, is corruption and rent seeking. Now, I'm sitting here in this bath, and so far, Azerbaijan is not yet at that point, but there have been a few studies which I'll link, I guess, up above, not down below, because you cannot see anything. Western science does not condone this, thinks it's bad. I don't know, maybe I agree, maybe I disagree, I haven't tried it yet. But it certainly is a weird experience. 10 минут?
10 минут, да.
Хорошо.
Ты рукой упирай на землю.
Okay.
Вот так. Вот так садитесь.
Okay.
Не-не-не.
Вот так, да, окей.
Далее.
This is the quickest way to get a tan, by the way. Okay? Okay. Не, что там было? Много работы. Да. Участвуй. Сюда.
Well, I just finished my treatment in the sanatorium or in the spa. I'm feeling pretty good, it's not too bad. I must say I was by far the youngest person there. There was a baby out there, but they were like with grandpa and grandma. Well, if you like that in total, don't forget to subscribe. Right now, I'm on my way to the border with Georgia, that is, not the one with Armenia, though I'm gonna go there. Because that border, the one to Armenia, is closed. Now the weather has changed quite a bit. It's really cold. But to answer your probably most pertinent questions, 3 of them. Yes, I still smell like petroleum. Yes, I showered twice yesterday. Yes, I showered today, and it's still there. Extra bonus question: do I feel bad? Do I feel good? No real difference. I'm feeling quite alright. But now it's time to head to the border, where there's like one last weird situation happening.
Okay.
So, something weird. I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia now. I wanted to go from Azerbaijan to Armenia, but I cannot. They are enemies. So I had to cross the border from Azerbaijan to Georgia first to later go to Armenia. The weird thing is here, I can leave Azerbaijan, but Azeris themselves cannot. While Azeris can enter Azerbaijan, but nobody else can, apart from lorry drivers. This has been going on for the last 4 or 5 years. And during my whole trip, in the last 2 videos that you saw, like, I asked people why. Of course, not on camera, because I don't want to put them in danger. And they said, like, a version of corruption, money, people dodging the draft from Russia, and basically political instability, terrorism, you could say. Now, therefore, I will board this train to go to Armenia, and if you want to see that, click here for the next video. See you there. There it is.